time, and you wasted our time by making us go through it as well. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Well, I did some of it, but some of it's not letting me do. Fuck, I hate that. Fucking, they have the worst system, state system that we use. It's the worst bit of software. It's so bulky, you know, redundant, and they just, rather than like having someone write some decent code, I think they just keep on layering bullshit on top of it.
It becomes a legacy system, isn't it? All the data and the database and backup and everything is all to some old legacy system, and because it all fits together and works together, if they upgrade or update any of it, they have to do a kind of revamp, and you know what I mean. But then it starts to mean that they have to upgrade everything because, you know,
that's what
very different now.
It's just and it's too like big. It would probably be too expensive for them to really do it. Anyway, I gotta run. Listen to my book. Later, y'all.
Mate.
Go shoot a theist. No, I didn't say that. I spoke to one yesterday, but I didn't have the heart.
Thinking.
I spoke to one yesterday. I didn't have. She was asking about Christianity. I can't do like the street epistemology thing and start getting really confrontational. It's like, you want to believe in your crazy stuff, go for it. Just realize
philosophy proves that my God is real. Philosophy. What's your epistemology, sir?
Yeah, philosophy proves science. Yeah, science proves God.
Atheism is a lie. No, evolution is a lie from the pit of hell.
Oh, God. Yeah, there you go. Well, on that note, I'm going to go devolve into a piece of slime worm.
You can't devolve anymore, mate.
Yeah, it's true.
You're at the base of it, if anything.
Pretty bad. All right, later, all.
Later, mate.
What's your YouTube channel?
I don't have a YouTube channel.
You gotta catch up with the times.
Yeah.
I don't have one either. Actually, I don't even watch. I don't watch jack shit on YouTube unless it's like a documentary, you know, a mainstream documentary. I can't get into it. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say there's a lot of things like that I haven't. I just got Twitter last week, about a week ago. So I don't catch up. I don't keep up to date with all this technology stuff.
Yeah, the only Twitters I have are fake Twitters that I use to troll people with, important people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I don't get how people are so intertwined with this whole social media thing. That's not my thing. I don't like it. It's a waste of time.
I don't know. I mean, I still check my Facebook regularly. I do anything less and less on it, obviously, but it's still just a nice way of kind of keeping in touch with certain types of people that you wouldn't really know what's going on in their lives if you didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care what's going on in somebody's life, though. I prefer Instagram if I'm going to look at somebody's life, because it'll just give you this giant photo stream where I can just scroll down and scroll up. I don't have to look, I don't have to look at all these like fucking wall posts or this or that. You know what I mean? I can't stand all the miscellaneous garbage that comes with Facebook, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I can tell what's going on in your life if you just give me your Instagram. I can look at your fucking your photos, and bam, I know what's going on. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought of it like that. I've never used Instagram, but I know a few people that do. It seems like it's for like more young people, like just exchanging pictures of where they party and who they hang around with.
Pretty good way to keep up on people. I mean, I don't want to read your fucking wall post about how you have a bag of Cheetos and the Cheetos are spicy, and it's funny how your spicy Cheeto is next to a plant. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. Just show me your photo.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. But like I said, I kind of like it still. It's a bit more in depth in it. It depends who you've got. Because I'm in a lot of groups and stuff, so I found a lot of groups that are interested in the sort of thing that I am. So I find it quite entertaining and interesting.
Yeah, Spinoza, welcome to the room.
Hey, Phil. All right, mate.
You all right?
Phil
Yeah.
Connor. Hey Phil, what other? What damn? I was gonna ask him about his weird theories. Like that guy has a lot of weird fucking theories about conspiracy stuff.
Yeah, no, I've spoken to him a few times before. He wants to separate the world into white people and black people, and everybody live on their own. And there's no welfare state. And if your children die because of disease, then so be it. Tough. That's why he lives. He's got this really weird idea.
He says all that shit, but he still uses the NHS and all the, you know what I mean. The guy's a fucking troll.
Yeah. It's just a bit crazy, isn't it?
No, if he legit believes that, then he should leave his council house. He should disavow his benefits. What's that?
Yeah, no, that's right. He should leave the system and go and live somewhere where there is no laws and live how he wants to live.
Yeah, there's plenty. I mean, there's plenty of islands around England.
He wants us all to live like that. He wants us all to live under that stupid, barbaric, anarchist rule.
Yeah,
he's just brainwashed with these conspiracy theories about the government. That's it.
You know, my justification is that if they're going to tax us, then they're obligated to provide us with services, plain and simple.
Yeah, and I think to a large extent they do. Things are not perfect. All systems could do with some reform and adjustment, but that's life. You know, we can work on that. That doesn't mean we have to start from scratch and go back to living in caves and jungles and fighting off each other with spears. That's what he wants.
Your system is much better than America's. America had a chance to lead the world after World War II, and then FDR died, and so all of his social programs and all of the promise he had to compound those programs and see them succeed and go beyond those programs, that kind of died with him, and people kind of forgot about him. So since FDR, we had LBJ, and then Obama was the last one to really push for serving the public, so to speak, with stuff like that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, was it FDR that started funding NASA?
That I don't know. I don't think NASA really got funded. That was probably Eisenhower who started to first kick that into gear. I would think.
Okay, but it was definitely in say the 50s, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm thinking of Eisenhower, though. I don't even know if NASA was around in 45. I mean, the way it works, it's like the CIA. The CIA was the OSS or whatever. They have so many different fucking names for it. So I don't even know what name they had for NASA back in the 40s. It was probably some shit. It was probably some group tied to like weather balloons and something like that. Studying weather.
Some type of scientific research.
Yeah. Because the space race stuff, though, that's fascinating. That fascinates me. To this day, it fascinates me because how the fuck did we land on the moon in '69, and then today we just we don't do anything. I don't get that. Had I been a kid in '69, I would have thought, like my parents, I'm sure they thought that we would have had like Star Trek by now.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, landing on the moon, you would have thought would have enabled, say, NASA to get a lot more funding from the American government, considering that they only ever got like a percentage of 1%.
Yeah, it's still like that, about 1%, if that. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing that's weird is when they went to the moon, obviously, like you say, it was such a massive, worldwide historical event. Obviously, it's gone down in history as one of the greatest things that human beings have ever done, and rightly so. But then you think to yourself, like, well, obviously, once that happened, they now can do it. They paid to do it at that time. 10 years later, they could easily do it again with bigger ideas and better ideas. And the explanation I've heard from scientists is, look, they went to 69, they went in 69, they went in 71, they went in 72, and I think that's it. but they basically found out as much as they can about the moon. There's not really much more to find out. It's a big lump of rock that hasn't got an atmosphere, and it's in our it's trapped within orbit around us, and that's about it. What it's made up of is exactly the same thing that the Earth is made up of. What's it called? It verified a number of theories about our our galactical history. The history of our solar system, which is that the moon was made from Earth when something hit the Earth at a very early stage, and a fifth of the mass of the Earth smeared out into space and then formed the moon. That's been proved because they found out that the moon is made up of exactly the same materials as the Earth.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's not really anything more to be done by keeping on going back to the moon. So they said that NASA have said that we could have easily keep going back to the moon, but it's just a waste of money. Like there's not really anything more to be learned. All the questions we've had have been answered, and we can't think of anything more to find out that could help us or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just a big lump of rock. We've even got tons of it that we brought back. Not tons, but loads of it.
Yeah, but you still wonder though why they didn't have a moon base. A lot of industry would be fascinated by the moon because of the titanium deposits.
Yeah, all right. Well, look at this then. Elon Musk now hasn't he got a plan for making the moon base? He's got so many of these weird fucking plans out there. So I'm not sure, but someone like him could decide that let's go to the moon, build a base there, and I don't know, do some sort of holidays or something for rich people to come and see the view of Earth and the solar system standing from the moon. He could well do that, but he'd have to put hundreds of millions of pounds of his own money, loads and loads of research, and his own companies focused on it, and achieve that in 10, 15 years. The thing is, we know that the government already could have achieved that if that's what they wanted to do. But the government doesn't work like that. The government gives NASA, who can't even decide amongst themselves one particular plan to carry out, and it gives them a percentage which is not enough for them to do these things as quickly as we would like.
Well, either way, we should have moved beyond the moon by now, and we should have faster craft. The space shuttle was a huge disaster. I don't know why the fuck why don't we have like warp drive? Why don't we have faster craft? With nothing, we're still using rocket fuel. It's totally insane.
Yeah. Well, rocket fuel is just a big firework, isn't it? All the rockets that we've ever made that have left the Earth, it's just literally a big firework. You have a big explosion, and that pushes something small really fast, just in the direction away from the explosion.
Yeah, like why don't we have plasma? Plasma is huge. Why haven't we advanced plasma thrusters and stuff like this?
Well, I mean, one, such a thing might never exist, meaning that at the moment it's still science fiction, that we don't even know whether there is a way of achieving that type of energy. Two, if it is possible, even in potential, we don't know how long it would take for us to get to being able to manipulate the world in that way. And yeah, so I mean, it's just a process. The only thing we can do as human beings is push for it for more and more, meaning put more money into it, understand the value of doing scientific research. If more human beings agreed that, look, the scientific method and the research we do as scientists is our best chance of survival and our best chance of finding out how the world really works and our best chance of achieving our goals. If people actually recognize that as a fact, and then everybody put more money towards it, and the government gave, say, NASA 10% of the budget rather than 0.5%, a lot of these things we would start finding out whether it is possible or not and how far we are to achieving them. Because remember, the main thing, the problem with our history since the Cold War and the Second World War is that the main thing in human history that has driven scientific progress the most has been war. Countries always put down a hell of a lot of money for scientific progress when it's weapons to protect themselves and kill other people. When it's that, governments put down 60% of their money and budget to research and development, but not to find new energy sources and new ways of getting to the moon, but to build weapons that fucking destroy more people quicker.
The whole purpose though should not be to go to these barren fucking rocks like Mars and the moon to play with rocks. The purpose should be to discover life. So why haven't we gone to Europa where there's an ocean There's also an oxygen-rich atmosphere.
Yeah, well, Europa's probably our best bet for life in this solar system, definitely.
And
it's just it's a hell of a long way away, though, isn't it?
It's not that long away. I mean, it would take like 2 years to get there. I mean, it's not that inconceivable to do that.
Nah, not with our current technology. Not 2 years. It will take like more than a year to get to Mars, I think, with our current technology.
Years to get to Europa, depending on how close it is on what rotation and whatever year we go. Inconceivable to do that.
Oh, yeah. All right, even if it is 2 years, I guess that is doable. But yeah, I mean, I would really like to see what's going on in Europa, because it's got a big, massive, thick layer of ice over the top. But by all accounts, it seems to be liquid water underneath.
There's no way the entire planet is encapsulated in ice. I'm not buying that story. There's going to be. They've already found seismic activity. They've found that they have found geothermal activity. Geothermal activity is going to melt parts of the ice.
Yeah, it could be, but it still could be that it's enough of an actual full layer. Maybe it's not the thickest all the way around, but it could still be a layer all the way around. I mean, these things we'll find out hopefully.
No, there's no way that there's a layer around the entire planet. Not when you have geothermal activity. I mean, common sense, it just dictates, pure and simple, that the geothermal activity and volcanic activity is going to produce an immense amount of heat, just like our planet does with volcanoes and whatever else. And it's going to have areas that are not encapsulated in ice. Period.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty hopeful that there is life down there, because obviously that planet has been around, say, for as long as the Earth has, and whatever its atmospherical conditions, the point is that there's, I would say, just as much chance as life evolving out of natural systems, just as much as there was on Earth. So there could even be life there that's been around longer than our strain of life. Because, yeah, even from 4 billion years ago, life didn't start straight away here. Maybe it did in Europa, or a lot quicker. You never know, because I don't know. The conditions for life are only defined by us according to what we know on this planet. There's nothing to suggest that life has to follow those rules anywhere else.
Well, I think within our own limited galaxy, that it's probably a pretty sure bet that oxygen has a large part. Oxygen and hydrogen and nitrogen have a very large part to do with life.
Yeah, but that's because they're generally abundant in our solar system.
Yeah, solar system is what I should say, not galaxy. Galaxy is much bigger. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
So I mean,
they say that everything comes from hydrogen, isn't it? That hydrogen is the initial element that was in the universe, and then because of, I don't know, weird quantum effects of gravity or some shit that I don't know. I've never understood that early aspect of the universe. It's so confusing.
Yeah, I wish I would have gotten more involved in that when I was younger.
Now, sometimes I read up about or listen to experts talking about these things, but they do keep it quite simple because they know that most people listening aren't experts. It's quite nice to hear about the way they look at the universe. It's just as amazing and spiritual as any religion I've ever come across, even more so even.
Yeah.
But you can probably tell that I'm somebody that genuinely believes in the scientific method. I think that is the best way we have of finding out how the world works. And the more we do that, the better we'll find out.
Well, of course, your whole way of life and my whole way of life is because of science, not because of Charles Dickens, not because of a fucking poet. Our whole way of life is because of technology, and technology came about because of science. Period. So.